Hey there, baseball fans. It's Ben, and I'm back today sharing with you guys part of my personal Nolan Ryan collection. This part is the Pacific cards that they released, I think it was 91, 92, and 93. It's a three-part series, essentially. They did something similar with Tom Seaver, and it kind of outlines Nolan's career. They did it in three parts. I think it was 110 cards for the first series, 110 cards for the second series, and then 30 or so cards for the third series in 93. They did something weird though, because the first series, 100 to 110, that was numbered, and then 111 to 220 in the second series, and then they did 221 to 250 or something like that for the third. But the third time around, they also re-released all the previous cards with a variation. So you can see this is the original series, and then they did this 27th season anniversary series here with the Pacific logo in the corner, no Pacific logo in the corner. You can see the back on these two is slightly different font actually on the numbers and the copy. So you can see the font looks a little bit different. Let's see if I can bring that a little closer for you guys. So you can see just slightly different in the back there with that 27th season insignia. Now, the reason that we're having this video at all, though, is not because I want to show you 500 some of these Pacific cards, which are actually, they are pretty cool. But it came to my attention a few months ago when I bought some new packs of these cards, that there is like a ghostwriting thing where there is glow-in-the-dark writing on the back of these that can be brought out by a black light. And there were silly messages like don't do drugs and things like that, but apparently they're fairly rare. So I wanted to go through my collection that I already have. Like I said, I think I have 540 some of these, which is not quite the entire 3 series sets. I have some duplications in there though, but it's a lot, and I wanted to see if there are any ghostwriting cards already in my collection. So we're gonna flip the lights off for this video and use this black light to shine, and I think it'll just show up. I'm not sure how hard it will be to see, but you guys are on the same journey as I am here, because I do not know if any of these exist in my collection or not. So these are all in order. There are some really cool cards in here, by the way. If you're not familiar with this series, they give you some insight into what he was thinking in each of these time periods, and a little bit into his personal life and his training specifically, which I think the training ones are actually really cool. A little information about him and Frank Tanana there, which is insightful and interesting. Talks about him as a hitter at the plate. He's got 2 home runs in his career. There you go, a Ryan home run. You can see right there. His fastball grip, he is more of a split finger as opposed to 2 fingers over the top, like a lot of pitchers are. Worth noting. Now, I have no idea what the odds are of any of these cards having the ghostwriting on them or not. So I'm just as in the dark with this as you are. I know you guys are here for the jokes, not the cards. Right, Ben, right. Yep, not seeing any yet. Let's just keep on going here. Also, it talks about his infamous football throwing as a part of his regimen and routine. Also talks about his running the stairs, stretching. This one is one of the most famous cards there is, I think, for Nolan Ryan, just because of his short shorts there, which everybody thought was hilarious. And I agree. I mean, it was the early 90s. What are you going to do? And then even when he's on the Rangers, American League, when he didn't have to hit, he still took batting practice every once in a while. It reminded him about what it actually feels like to face these pitchers like him that are throwing so hard. A great quote that I read on these cards is from Reggie Jackson, where Reggie Jackson said, facing Nolan Ryan, he's the only pitcher that he's actually scared to face. Not because he's worried about he's going to strike out, but because Ryan can actually kill you with his fastball. So there's Nolan's. He actually has a working steer farm, a ranch. There's his family. There's his family all geared up in their Rangers gear. him with his horse on the ball field. From all accounts, it just looks like he's a pretty decent, normal guy. So good stuff from, this is into series 2, I think, here, when it goes back through his archives and history. And I'm not sure if there's more propensity to find these ghostwriting cards in series 1, 2, or 3. Look at his ill-fitting Angels uniform there. Starting to think this is a myth. You know, I'm not seeing anything here, but I guess it's rare enough that you're just not going to find them all that often. I still think it's just weird, you know, 130s, like you see these 27th season cards as a duplicate or a parallel set, I guess. An odd choice. And it's also funny that, you know, they started this series in 91, and I guess they figured he was going to be done in 92. And then when he kept going, they're like, oh shoot, what do we do? He's still active. So a few of these cards at the end are like, and he's still going. Season 27, here he is in spring training. When will this end? So I think they probably anticipated that they would catch him at the end of his career and be able to wrap it up for the story arc with these cards. But then they didn't. So that 93 season was his last year, though. And I also like there some cards of him being his number being retired from the Angels and being inducted into the Angels Hall of Fame while he's still active, which is crazy. I don't think anybody else has ever done that. Been inducted into a team Hall of Fame while they're still an active player. But there's some pictures of him with Gene Autry, which I thought was kind of cool, as well as I forget which old-time player was there too. You know, when you're younger, you know, all these athletes seem like bigger than life and, you know, older and whatnot. And then as you actually get old and you start to realize that you are older than all these athletes, it's very humbling. So I take a little bit of, it makes me feel a little bit better that I'm still younger than Nolan Ryan. So maybe I still got some major league years ahead of me. Yeah, right. Anyway, here's the last page. And, disappointment, we never actually found any ghostwriting cards in there. Oh, Jimmy Reese, that's who that one is. And there's Gene Autry there. And there he is with the CEO of Pacific Cards, which is a funny card. Very meta with him actually holding the card. So sorry, folks. I was hoping we'd have an amazing moment of reveal as I found a ghostwriting card in all of these hundreds and hundreds of Nolan Ryan cards I've got here, but it was not meant to be. I guess that's the fun of this whole thing, is that it really truly is a hunt, and you never know if you're gonna find it or not. So consider this my Geraldo moment, for those of you who are old enough to remember him opening that Al Capone vault and nothing being in there. But hopefully you enjoyed seeing some of these Nolan Ryan cards. And I'll do a full Nolan Ryan card collection video at some point, and you can join me for that. Until then, be well. I'll see you next time.